Today's demonstration will start from where we have left in the last week's tutorial, and I have started applying this glaze of a burnt sienna and a raw sienna mix with a lot of liquid added to it, and I just went over the whole frame area with that color. After that, I decided to go over the frame area, the frame section of the painting. So I'm just using this round brush and I'm trying to define the darkest portions using a mass black Winsor& Newton oil paint. And uh, actually last week I missed out on one of the sections, which was the landscape section, and I said that the last week's tutorial was only about acrylic. I'm sorry about that. Actually, I did the landscape in oil in last week's tutorial itself, so please go and check it out. Um, so let's get back to today's part. So after I was done with the black areas, uh, I moved to the lighter portions on the frame. So I'm using the same round brush and I'm using a darker shade which is burnt sienna, and going through the darker portions of the frame. And it's just a painting process. You paint over areas and try some different looks, and you hate the looks you have got, and then you wipe the whole oil paint with a tissue paper. So that's what I have done, guys, in this case, because what I did is in the reference picture I was referring to, the frame is actually a wooden frame with teal oil paint, put like with teal oil paint on it, teal color on it. I'm not sure it's oil paint or what kind of paint on my reference picture. And I actually tried to achieve similar color contrast and used a teal color on this frame, and I hated that look, so I just wiped it all with a tissue paper and then just decided to stick to a concept of golden, either wooden frame or a metal frame, whatever you feel it is looking like. Sorry about my headshot. Yep. So in this portion I am trying to use my Filbert brush, Papillon Filbert brush, Artist by Artists Club, and trying to block some of the areas with a lighter color, which is a mix of white and cadmium yellow and yellow ochre, and then trying to put that portion and block it. And then in between I use a clean brush, filbert brush or round brush, and try to blend all the colors together so that it looks very smooth and it looks very realistic. That's a key to having a realistic still life effect, which looks a little bit 3D. And after that, I don't know why, but I decided to use this cadmium orange mix with white, and before that you could see that I had used a raw umber color. Sometimes you go through these phases where you have already achieved really good effect and you decide to mess the whole painting up by adding few more layers, but guys, don't worry about it because you can always go back and correct those portions. So that's what I have done in this case. After I go through these bad layers, I have done a little bit careful tweaking in the contrasts and glazed it over and fixed it up with some different techniques. So by defining the areas better and better and glazing the portions which I didn't like that much with darker shades and liquid mixed with it. Once I got satisfactory results with the frame portion, I have now moved to this bird on the left side. Because this bird was such a tiny piece of art, I had to, most of the times, I had to use very fine detail brushes, which is this Princeton 000 brush I have, round brush I have, and then the Winsor & Newton 4x0 round brush I have. Besides that, I have used my Neef Talon, Filbert and flat brushes on this bird, which was very useful for me to get the results I really wanted to achieve. For the branch, you don't have to worry at all about how the branch you paint it, but you, even if you go with really random directions in the branch, it looks really natural. Actually, more random it is, it looks more it ends up looking really, really more natural. So don't worry about where the brush strokes are going for your branches ever. And also for this branch, I haven't referred to any reference picture, guys. You can also do it, like just put some random branch, just imagine how the branch looks, and you can just get a really nice effect, and then after you block in the basic sketch, then you just have to worry about the darks and lights, where your light source is. In my case, my light source is exactly actually on the top portion, on coming from top, or you can say it's coming inside this frame, or inside from this landscape natural sunlight, it's coming from there. So the look is kind of like that. That's what at least I have tried to achieve. For the most of the highlights, I don't use straight white, but I try to use a gray shade. So I mix it with little bit of black, or I try to use little bit burnt sienna or some other color I mix with white to put my highlights on. Due to the tiny size of this bird, I couldn't do much with the eye portion. So you can see after some time I have just blocked in the eye with a black color, complete blocking of eye with black color. And then I have went over that eye with a shade of gray. So I had just put the highlight with a tiny brush with a shade of gray on the black eye, and then it gives pretty nice 3D effect after that. So you'll see that layering now, how I'm doing it. If you have any concerns or questions, guys, please do ask me in the comment section below, because it's very important for me to get feedback from all of you. And if you're also trying something similar, and any kind of random questions, you can ask me or provide your feedback. What would you like to see in future? Uh, Now I have switched to this Neef brush, which is the flat, or this is a Filbert brush. So this is a Neef Talon Filbert brush I'm using right now, which is my favorite brush. And I decided not to use it on the right side bird, the bird which is on the right side of the painting. I just decided to experiment with that bird by not using this brush and still see if I can achieve similar results, but that wasn't true. I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve with that bird till the end, and then I did a lot of layering on that, and still I didn't get the effect I wanted, but it's okay. I learned that I should just stick to my Neef Talon filbert and flat brushes from next time whenever I do tiny bird paintings, which I actually do a lot. So guys, you could clearly see how random the shadows are going, and now you'll see that how random I'm putting the highlighted portions as well. One more random thing I'm doing here is putting the directions of the branches, those tiny tiny details and those branches, which give the painting really nice detailed feel, which can attract the viewer's attention because of the tiny those branches, teeny tiny branches. And the random the direction of the branch is, guys, the real it looks. So that's the key. And same with the strokes on this whole branch. You can see I'm not going in a specific direction. I'm not doing anything defined. I'm just randomly trying to put the highlights on the top and then on the bottom and some of the areas in shadow. Once you know your light source, then you know where to put your shadows and highlights. Whenever I feel that some portion I didn't like, I just tend to use a tissue paper and wipe out that portion when I'm working with oils. With acrylic paints, it is little bit different, because with acrylic paints it dries so quickly that if you try to like just wipe it out with a tissue paper, it might not get done properly. So instead, when it comes to acrylic, when I go really wrong with a couple of layers, I tend to let it dry, which happens really quickly, and then put more layers on it to correct it. But with oils, because the dry time is enormous, like it takes, even if you use a fast drying liquids with your oil paints, it takes you at least 24 hours to 30 hours to get it a little bit dry, so as to apply more layers. So instead, what I do, because I don't want to wait for that long, I'm not that patient as a person anyways, so what I do is I just use a tissue paper, wipe out that portion right away, and then build layers on it. Teeny tiny brush for teeny tiny bird. With the bird paintings, only your shadows and highlights doesn't matter. Where the dark goes, where the light goes doesn't, or just that doesn't matter. Of course that matters, but just that doesn't matter. The most important thing is direction of the fur, because if your direction of the fur is wrong, then the whole balance of the bird goes wrong, guys. So because actually this bird is literally balancing on that branch, so it should look like, it, he is trying to, or she is trying to balance on the branch. So yeah, just make sure your direction of the fur is absolutely bang on, and look at your reference picture again and again for that. Yeah, guys, we have almost come to an end of today's tutorial. If you have really liked and enjoyed watching this one, please like it, and please put your comments and feedbacks in the section below. I'm going to get more and more such interesting videos in the future, and please subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely for free, and I'll see you again next week. I have actually not been happy with the effect I have got with the water and the waterfall and the river, because I didn't have a reference picture for that. So I have worked a lot to get this look for that particular section, and still I'm not happy. So, but still, you learn as you practice, and all the best for all of you guys with your painting. And please subscribe to my channel, and see you guys again on next Thursday. Bye bye.